Picture this: Ace Frehley, the original spaceman of Kiss, standing before the cameras, his voice steady but laced with years of pent-up frustration. The rock world watches in shock as he finally breaks his silence about his long-standing tensions with Gene Simmons, the man behind the infamous demon persona. Fans have long speculated about the friction within Kiss, but Frehley's revelations expose a side of Simmons few were prepared to hear. A man driven by an insatiable hunger for fame, control, and dominance. Gene Simmons, the towering force behind Kiss, always seemed larger than life. But behind the fire-breathing spectacles and legendary stage presence lay a figure whose relentless ambition often steamrolled those around him. Frehley, who once stood shoulder to shoulder with Simmons, now paints a picture of a man consumed by greed and manipulation, obsessed with maintaining his legacy, even at the expense of those who helped build it. Frehley's time in Kiss was a roller coaster of massive success and internal strife, and at the heart of it all was his toxic relationship with Simmons. While on stage, they projected unity. Behind the scenes, it was a different story. Frehley saw Simmons as an unstoppable force, seeking to dominate every aspect of the band, from creative control to financial decisions. Simmons' relentless pursuit of success left little room for collaboration. Think of the late-night arguments, endless touring schedules, and pressure to churn out hits, all dictated by Simmons' iron grip. Frehley, a free spirit who cared more about the music than the business, felt suffocated under Simmons' control. Tensions escalated. Frehley began to feel like a hired gun in the band he helped create. Simmons, obsessed with expanding the Kiss empire, pushed for relentless commercialization, questionable branding, and an image-first approach that Frehley saw as selling out the soul of rock and roll. Their disagreements weren't just about music, they were about identity, authenticity, and respect. The breaking point came when Frehley realized Simmons and Paul Stanley were making critical decisions without him, gradually eroding his influence in the band. But Simmons' conflicts weren't limited to Kiss. His larger-than-life personality and unapologetic views often put him at odds with other rock icons. His public feud with Eddie Van Halen exposed his need to claim credit for others' successes. Simmons often insinuated that his guidance was instrumental in Van Halen's rise, claims that irked the Van Halen brothers, who saw it as a self-serving narrative. Simmons also alienated himself from much of the rock community with his blunt criticism of other bands, dismissing grunge as a fad and belittling groups like Aerosmith. His arrogance and cutthroat business tactics made him respected, but rarely loved. Even in the corporate world, Simmons' obsession with wealth led to failed reality TV shows, an ill-fated restaurant chain, and constant ventures prioritizing money over artistic integrity. Away from the stage, Simmons' personal life was a storm of contradictions. His long-term relationship with Shannon Tweed, the former Playboy model who stood by his side for decades, was glamorous on the surface but riddled with scandals and rumors of infidelity. The world saw a couple smiling on red carpets, but behind the scenes, Tweed grappled with the painful reality of being with a man whose loyalty was constantly questioned. For years, Simmons flaunted his romantic conquests as trophies, while publicly insisting his heart belonged to Tweed. The reality show Gene Simmons' Family Jewels pulled back the curtain, revealing a raw version of their relationship. Cameras captured Simmons dodging tough conversations with humor, but Tweed's eyes told a different story, one of simmering disappointment. Their children, born into a world of excess, found themselves navigating life under the shadow of their father's notoriety. While Simmons provided in abundance, the emotional connection often felt transactional. His relentless focus on his career created a distance that no amount of reality TV gloss could disguise. Even his bandmates weren't spared. Peter Criss accused Simmons of rewriting history to fit his own narrative, while Paul Stanley, his supposed best friend, faced his own power struggles with him. Simmons' legacy stands as both an awe-inspiring testament to ambition and a cautionary tale of excess and sacrifice. Beneath the makeup and bravado lies a man who paid a heavy price for his insatiable desire to rule the industry. His name will always be etched in rock history, but his story serves as a lesson. No amount of fame can replace the things that matter most: